You are now live.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We'll call the Warren County Tobacco Asset Securitization Corporation a meeting together. Welcome, everybody. First order of business is to appoint the elected officers of the corporation. President and Chief Executive Officer. That would be me.
Correct.
Okay,
So if I could just interject for a second,
sure.
Chairman.
Yeah.
So for everyone's benefit, the first two documents are key for the entire discussion. You have an agenda item on the first page, and on the second page, it's basically a listing of all the resolutions. As we go through the materials, we're going to come back to the second document and resolve where we need to resolve, if that's
Okay.
the appropriate word. Also, just for everyone's benefit, we have Corey from D&M, which is our accounting firm, our external auditors, who helped me with this significantly, as did Kara Lace, our attorney representing Warren Task.
Okay.
So yes, Kevin, back to you with regard to these are the four key positions on the second page that we need to basically everyone needs to agree to. And I just gave you the 2023 on the agenda. Those are the 2023 folks that were official.
All right, so the vice, who would like to serve as vice president? Anybody? He was, last year was Mike Swan.
I'm happy to continue in that stead if we want to have Rob be the treasurer and CFO.
Okay, so Christine. And the treasurer, Rob Lynch.
That's good, Kara?
And then
Okay.
the secretary would be, last year it was Craig, who wishes to serve as secretary. Frank? Sure. Okay. So we put those forward as somebody want to put those forward as a motion to approve the officers for 2024? Anyone? Kim Brock? Second by Mike Wild. Any discussion on the officers? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item of business would be to approve the 2023 minutes, and y'all have them. Craig Leggett was the active secretary, and we got them in our folder. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the 2020 by Mike Wild? Do we have a second? By Frank Thomas. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving right on. Yeah, the budget was included in our documents. The budget is $65,000 operating revenue. 49,400 total revenues and expenses, $15,600 favorable to budget. Are there any questions on the 2024 budget? The motion to approve the budget. So, Mr. Wild, do we have a second? Mr. Thomas? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right,
If I could interject?
go ahead.
Thank you. So in my digging, there are a couple of things in here that I'd just like to bring to your attention. So in your second page of your budget packet is a resolution from 2022. Annually, Task gives a donation. So 50%, Kara, keep me honest, 50% of the revenues received by Task from the state, who receives it from the federal government. And again, just to take a step back, many moons ago in the late 90s, the federal government settled with, or excuse me, Big Tobacco settled with the federal government to try to avoid lawsuits. And gave a significant amount of money in perpetuity based on tobacco sales.
Right.
So each state receives in perpetuity an amount of money every year based on tobacco sales. These sales, then from the state go down to the counties within, again, based on sales. So in addition of getting Warren County with Task gives 50% of those revenues on an annual basis to Warren County. In addition to that, there has been an annual donation of $30,000, which was memorialized in this resolution in 2022. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Okay, and then way back on the third, on 3C is the actual 50% that was agreed to with Task and Warren County, where they get 50% of the revenues on an annual basis. So those are just two. They were at the Warren County level. They've never actually been addressed at the Task level. So what I would like to do in item 4 is approval of the 2023 Task donation of monies. I'd like to put a resolution together for Task that says on our side of the books that we donate to Warren County $30,000 if.
Okay, so a motion to approve the donation of Warren County. Supervisor Brock? Supervisor Brock? Sorry, Jim. Brock, second by Mr. Wild. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
Okay, and then finally,
this is it.
I just wanted to also bring to your attention the written consent, which is the last document in this packet, the controlling trustees of Warren County. So right now, this is based on, the prior board members. Now that we've got the new board members, I will update this. And basically this is for this year, it's the 50% represents approximately 361,000. I'm assuming this is already in our budget, Frank? It's an annual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I was like, ooh, we got a couple extra, but then I'm like, it's in the budget. So anyway, once I update this, I will then circulate it for approval, and this $361,000 is ready. I just needed to get the updated folks on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to,
Number 5,
yes,
the reporting audit reporting. Do we get the report now or?
it's actually number 4. Yes,
Okay,
we have it. I have been through it in great detail with the support of Corey, and it is our recommendation. Please, if you have any questions, let me know, but it is our recommendation that you accept the independent audited financial statements as presented.
does anybody have any questions on the audit report? Do we need Corey to comment?
Corey, any comment?
Any comments on the audit report?
She's, I think, muted. There she is.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
No, we had a clean opinion, no findings in terms of significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. So we don't rely on controls. We test 100% of the transactions for the tobacco corp because there's not a lot moving through. So we look at everything, and everything looked according to how we expected it. So all good.
Okay, the motion approved the audit report. Motion by Frank, Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Wild. Any discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I probably should have led with the clean opinion, but thanks for that, Corey.
All right.
Now we're on item 5.
Oh. Public authority report, that's we just did that. Oh, okay, now we have the results of the public authority Paris reporting. Anybody want to comment on that? Treasurer to
Sure.
certify and submit.
Yep. So little glitch in that the Paris reporting, again, has been done in great detail. There's a few items that we do need to amend. But it is 80% spot on, again, with the help of Kara and with the help of Corey. But it's also great to have just an independent set of eyes to kind of challenge. So it was a good process. So they are, for all intents and purposes, already submitted and certified too, because our final date was June 26th, 3 months from the June 25th, excuse me, 3 months from the date of our from our audited financial statements. So on the back page of the agenda, just as for everyone's just information, are the details of the various reports that go into Paris, the public authorities reporting information system. Some of them are simply a one-line statement saying that we comply with something specific. Other reports are more detailed. They line completely up with the financial statements. They're in sync, so that's a good thing. Our budget information is in there. There's an investment report, there's a procurement report. One thing that is in there that we haven't looked at in a while. And again, if you have any questions on any of the reports, please let me know, and either now or feel free to follow up with me afterwards. But in the packet of all of the information, sorry, I didn't number the pages. Next year, I'll get better at this. Is a mission statement that we brought to this committee in March of 2020. That I would like, if everyone could just take a moment and reread it and make sure that we're all aligned, that is in fact what we still envision for task. Happy to read it if you want me to.
No, yeah.
Okay. Actually,
So number 5, Mr. Thomas, will you make the motion? And Mr. Well, would you continue the motion to accept the 2023 Paris reporting as approved and direct the treasurer, Mr. Lynch, to submit it?
Yes, but a question.
Go ahead.
Christine, you mentioned there's some things that need to be corrected in the Paris report.
they're questions. So for example, we need, it speaks to, do we have annual performance reviews of the board of directors? And do we do financial disclosure reports and things like that? And Kara and I have been in correspondence with that. And I'm like, due to the nature, it's either, is this really applicable or are we too small? Or can we leverage the Warren County financial disclosures? But again, Mr. Brock is not on there. So Kara just spoke to me this morning. Literally, there's like 6 or 7 questions that I will now go back. They are required. So we will, it asked about your salary and compensation. I'm like, there is no salary and compensation. So is this not applicable? I need a 1-pager similar to some of these other 1-pagers that are in the front of this document. And I will make sure that we are complete with those. So that'll happen after this meeting. But those were there's literally like 7 of them that were just outstanding questions.
I'm good with that. Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We have a motion, a second. And it is Rob, right? Rob's the treasurer, so.
Rob is the treasurer, that's
You'll
fine.
submit it, directed to submit the report. All those favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 6, the mission statement.
And my apologies, it was, I just saw Matt Simpson's name here as the secretary back in 2020. So you reviewed this as 2020. I just wanted again, 2024. I just thought it would be a good thing to kick the tires.
Anybody, any issues with the mission statement, or would you like to continue along?
We can
Mr. Well?
continue.
You're good.
Yes? So Mr. Brock and Mr. Thomas will carry along with the mission statement. No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. That's number 6. Number 7, organizational structure.
So if I may,
Sure.
so this is interesting. And this plays into not only 7, but 8. So this is the organizational chart of the task. Sole member, board of directors. Kevin, you are the sole member, correct, Kara?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the board members would be the people sitting at this table, which would be myself, Mr. Brock, Mr. Thomas, and Mr. Wild. Now, where would Mr. Lynch go?
He's an officer.
He's an officer, so he's down here.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. Okay, thank you. So I'm just gonna clean this up and date it. So that's what that'll look like, and I'll just make it, so it's relevant and current. But you'll also notice, and this goes into number 7, resolution number 7. Appointment of the audit and governance committee members.
Right.
We have had these folks appointed in the past. But again, we've got some changing folks and it's a small group of individuals. How many do we, I'm forgetting, unfortunately.
3 on each.
3 on each,
Three on
thank you. Do we want to name the 3 for 2024 go forward?
Sure. I mean, forget who was on it last year, but
I know, I'm trying, let me see the minutes
Jim, you were on it.
from last year.
I think so.
You're on the audit, right, Jim? Audit. or governance?
I can also follow up. Sorry, I didn't have that.
I mean, we could, the only change would be Frank. takes
Frank would
over.
replace Mr. Leggett?
Right.
Okay,
So,
I can make that happen.
why don't we just appoint the committees the same as last year? If everybody's happy serving on what they served on, we'll get the names filled in at the right time.
Okay, I can do that. Frank will replace Leggett.
So do I need to do 7? No, we didn't. The organizational structure. I guess we need to accept the organizational structure as is.
As we've just discussed.
Huh?
As we've just discussed, as we went through the new names.
Yeah.
And I'll just update it and get you a clean
So
copy.
somebody want to make a motion to accept the organization? Mike, supervisor. Mr. Well, Mr. Thomas. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, sorry. And then number 8, appointing the committees, we'll just keep the committees the same, just inserting Mr. Thomas instead of Mr. Leggett. Is everybody okay with that? We have a motion by Mr. Brock. We have a second to approve the committees. Mr. Thomas approve the committees as stated.
Thank
All
you.
those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that will be for both committees. Christine, you'll get those out.
I will.
Thank you. Okay,
Old business.
it's 8 and 9.
Yep. So now you just go back to the agenda for old business.
Sure, go ahead.
So again, just to give you a quick update. So I went through like soup to nuts, everything I found on these guys. So currently I uploaded a lot of documents for the public's information. So I found the bylaws, certificate of incorporation, excuse me, public authorities law. I have all of this stuff available for you should you want it. I also got the directors and officers insurance. We've always had it. We've never had a lapse. We just had a very old policy on hand. We have the current policy on hand. It's a $5 million policy that's in place. And I do now have that copy. Moving, any questions on any of that? Okay. And then, if I may, discussion items, Kevin?
Yes.
So I do think it would be a good idea. I've learned a lot. It's actually, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing is that's not straightforward is the accounting because it's fund accounting. And Corey got me there, but I think it would be good. And I just wanted to see if you agreed to maybe have at some point, maybe someone from not Wilmington, but from BLX kind of come in and how well aware is the board of what task is and would it be worth a 15-minute, 20-minute update at some point in time?
I think it's important because it's a lot of your board wasn't there when this took part. And I think an update every now and then, to bring the rest of our members up to speed would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt. And again, I think I even referenced it as task, just forgetting on the finance committee, not explaining what it was. So I do think it would be informative for folks. The other thing that I failed to mention that it kind of got me going when we had the children here with the tobacco, that against the smoking and the vaping and whatnot. When I came in and Mike was giving me, transitioning to me, he was like, it's been going down, he was thinking in the early 2000s, late 19, and late teens, early 2020s, it was going down. And he was like, it looks like, maybe we're making some progress and people are smarting up and seeing that smoking is not good for you. And what in fact, I think it was, and then it spiked back up during COVID, but which is understandable. But I think what's happening is the cannibalization of cigarettes with vaping.
Sure.
So
Not just vaping at the smoke shops.
yeah, all kinds of things. So, but I just expressed our interest to have BLX in Wilmington. Nothing's been done yet, but we just got from Workforce Development, Liza O sent out a lawsuit. It's against Juul. It's a big
Oh, yeah.
lawsuit that's been won.
Vape.
So this might be something that I don't know if they can leverage. I shared it with them to see if we can't get, first of all, I think they should all be obliterated, but it's just, I'm just looking to see if maybe they can see Juul is owned, 30% of Juul is owned by Altria, which is Philip Morris. So there's a connection to big tobacco. So I'm just curious. I'm just pushing the envelope to see if there's anything where we could get more money. That's just me. Oh, it's right there. Reduction in, I already said that. And then we have 2 bonds. One is reasonable. One is crazy. Where crazy in that we are not paying principal against that bond until we pay off the first bond. I probably shouldn't have used the word crazy, sorry, but the interest that we're paying on this other bond. So I'm working on that because I think that we need to do something with that because and I don't know if it's going to get significantly better once this first bond is paid off. We have about 1.6 million left on the first bond. But this second bond, by the time we pay it off, interest only is just, well, first of all, you're never going to pay it off. It's interest only. So I do know when we pay off the first bond, we will start paying principal, but right now it's just not a good structure.
Yep.
So give me a little bit of time to look into that and apologies for the colorful wording. That's all I've got. Any questions?
I just think bringing the full board up to date on this would be important. Because, and then diving into bonds a little bit may be helpful too. So,
Yeah, and again, I'm still learning and I have been told that until we pay off the first bond, it's interest only. But I don't know why we would have agreed to that. Because I think it's a lot in interest.
there's been discussion about how they were structured before. I
Oh,
think.
there has, good.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right.
Maybe I
That being
just-
said, anybody else have anything to offer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Supervisor Brock, Jim. Abbott. Mr. Thomas, Mr. Brock, Mr. Thomas. All those favors signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you. Bye.